Hey brides, welcome back to another episode of the Bridal Coach podcast. In today's episode, I wanted to go a bit off track and really talk about me as a person so you can get to know me, but also like how I've been able to create confidence for myself, how I've been able to build a business surrounded around helping women build their confidence because I think it's important for you guys to know about me. If you was genuinely, thinking about joining my program or genuinely thinking about needing a coach, why would you not want to learn more about your coach? You obviously need to know that they are the person for you, that they are the right fit, but also like what kind of person that they are. So I think it's super important for you guys to know a bit about me because just before I, invite any client to work with me to actually build a program together, I learn a lot about you. So today's episode is going to be a bit about my own confidence journey. Today I actually went to the gym to film content for Instagram and for social media. I wore a veil in the gym. So 2 hours I'm filming content with a veil on my head and a massive tripod. Like this tripod isn't just a normal like stick that you just pull up and it just works normal. No, it's a massive tripod with like 4 flipping legs because I've lost my mini tripod, which works perfectly fine and which is a bit more convenient because this one literally doesn't even fit into my duffel bag. But I couldn't find it today and we was not letting that get in the way of content day. So I had to take my massive tripod, my backup tripod. And yeah, I mean, it's a big statement. Walking around the gym with a veil on your head and a massive tripod talking to the camera for 2 hours is a lot. But I'm someone who promotes confidence and, knows how to actually build it because I've done it myself. 2 years ago, would I have set foot in the gym with a massive tripod and a veil on my head talking to the camera? Absolutely not. So what has it actually taken in order for me to build confidence? Because I'm sure we can all agree the majority of people are not confident enough to stand in front of a camera and talk, okay? So this is something that I have built over time. I wasn't born with it. I wasn't born with confidence. And this is something that I've spoken about time and time again. Your confidence is built. Now, I know a lot of you watching this are bride-to-bees who are about to walk down the aisle struggling with anxiety, struggling with feelings of self-consciousness, struggling to feel confident in yourself, right? So the whole purpose of this chat today is really for me to kind of open up and talk to you about like what it would actually take for you to feel confident. And I think that I can speak about this because I've been pretty successful. My business helps women build their confidence, helps them lose weight, helps them change parts about themselves that they don't like. So naturally, when you're insecure and when you're self-conscious, of course, your confidence is going to be lacking. So I think step number one is really trying to figure out like where you want to be. So for example, when I was my most sort of self-conscious and most vulnerable, when I was like late teens, I genuinely struggled with body image, and that was a big part of me getting into the gym. My sister was a big motivation. She's 6, 7 years, she'll say 7 years, I'll say six, but 6.5. 6.5 years older than me. And we're honestly, she's my best friend and she's my biggest inspiration. She's a mum of 4. She homeschools her kids. She's been married for 10 years next year. And she's 30. So yeah, she got married at 21, had her first baby at 18, and now with 4 children, happily married and homeschooling. So she seriously is Wonder Woman. But going back a little bit then, before I started the gym, she was a gym buddy. Like she always made sure she got to the gym. She was meal prepping, like she was on her grind. She used to be a dancer. She went through a bit of a chubby phase. Demi, I'm sorry if you're listening to this, but she'll agree with me. When you're a teenager, like you'll be active and then you'll stop the activities and then you put on a little bit of weight, put on a bit of, chub, and then, it either continues going that way or you change parts about it and you realize that like I don't want to be this person anymore, like I want to change. You start going to the gym, etc. So I know that's a really, really common phase and a phase that I went through as well. So when I first started the gym, it was because of my sister. She genuinely was my inspiration. But I say inspiration lightly because it was probably a lot of jealousy. I was young. I was, say, 13, 14. And of course, my sister being 6, 7 years older than me, all of the boys in my year fancied her. All of the boys in my year were like, oh, you're going to like turn out to look like your sister when you're older. And Yeah, they all fancied her and I was jealous. So I took myself to the gym and I started going to the gym with her. I wanted to be her. She was my inspiration as well. Seeing her show up for herself, seeing her go to the gym every single day as a young girl, with no one else telling her what to do or how to do it, she was like my PT. She'd take me to the gym, we'd do workouts together. And then as she had her baby and, we didn't really spend much time together, I just continued that on my own and I started to build up my own confidence. And I started to realize, what it actually took in the gym. I understood the fact of consistency and how that was actually the reason why I was able to change my body and actually feel more confident. But I remember being in like going to parties and stuff as a late teen and not feeling good in my skin. Like just because I went to the gym as a 13-year-old, it doesn't mean that I knew what I was doing. I absolutely did not. I've been going to the gym now, I'm 23, for 10 years. And I can only honestly say that I've really known what I was doing for the past 4 years. I qualified as a personal trainer when I was 18. And while, of course, yeah, I knew what I was doing then, it's like driving. You don't actually learn how to drive until you've passed and you're out there on your own and you've got no one to turn to ask what you're doing or is this right? Do I need to indicate now? Um so yeah, that's kind of the only way I can explain it is like you learn your journey kind of goes with you as you grow and as you build up your confidence. Of course, having someone there with you like a personal trainer, an online coach, I'm there with my clients every step of the way, but you really get tested when you don't have a coach and when you're then doing it on your own. But the difference between like people who actually keep it up and those who don't is the obsession. Whether that obsession is genuinely like to keep it up for your physical, for your mental, for your body, for your wedding. But then, of course, I speak about this all the time. When you are genuinely like just going to the gym because your wedding is coming up, you need a deeper why. You need reasoning for actually continuing it after if you genuinely want to keep up your results. So, yeah, my journey really started when I was 13 and it's brought me to here. I'm now building a business that I am absolutely obsessed with. I love what I do. I love helping women, but especially brides who are under so much pressure before their big day, genuinely figure out like what is helpful, what is useful, what is going to work, what is going to get them the results in a way that they can still enjoy their life because I know how difficult it can be. Genuinely building a business that I love to help women actually feel confident, lose the weight, tone up, and actually feel their best in a way that is sustainable for them is so important to me because I didn't have that growing up. I had my sister for a period of time help me in the gym, but I had no support with nutrition. I had no support with mental, physical health. I had no support with actually keeping my mindset in check and knowing what it takes to see results. Because as I've said, I've been going to the gym for 10 years, but only can I say in the past 4 have I really known what I was doing and have I seen the biggest results. And that just goes to show, yes, consistency is so important. But if you're being consistent with things that don't work, you're not going to see the results that you want. So while consistency is so important, it is also so important to have a plan and know what you're doing. And like I said, I only really knew what I was doing after I got qualified as a personal trainer. And now I'm building a business that I love. And today really kind of sparked something in me that I wanted to talk about because I started filming my workouts in the gym today with not a care in the world. Not just my workouts, I was filming actual useful educational content for my Instagram and for my clients to post on social media with a veil on my head and a massive tripod walking around the gym speaking to the camera, and I was on my own. There was many people in the gym. This is a pretty like well-known big commercial gym, and yeah, it was very, very busy and I didn't really mind because I've done it and I'm confident now in front of the camera. Yes, I make mistakes. I'm actually probably going to make a bloopers because it kind of is hilarious when I mess up my words, and I do that a lot, as you can probably tell on this podcast, but it doesn't come natural. It's something that's genuinely built. Confidence is something that is built. It doesn't come natural. Being successful or speaking to the camera, like what I'm doing right now, doesn't come natural. This is episode 13, I believe. And this comes more natural now because I've done the reps, but I can imagine in another 13 videos or in another 30 videos, it's going to feel easier. It's going to feel like I'm going to be more confident in front of the camera, just speaking as it comes. So it really is about repetitions. Confidence is built through repetitions, and I can vouch for that. All of my clients can vouch for that. And even stepping foot into the gym, like the first time I stepped foot into the gym, was I confident? No. But what built my confidence is showing up regardless. Like, literally think about it as being that simple. You show up, you build your confidence, you put in the reps. By putting in the reps, I mean, yes, the actual reps in the gym, but also the reps of showing up to the gym and proving to yourself that regardless of how you feel, you're going to show up, and the cycle continues. You're going to keep building your confidence. And I was watching Grace Beverley's if you know who Grace Beverley is, you'll know that she got married the other day. She's the founder of Tala and also the founder of another fitness company, a few fitness companies, I think. And I was watching her like stand up and speak her vows in front of her husband, and of course hundreds of people. Like, she's an extremely popular lady, so I'm sure she had many eyes on her. And her vows were so put together, and the way that she spoke them with such confidence and conviction and clarity, and she seemed really calm and collected. She made a couple mistakes. She probably read a few words wrong. I'm not saying that she didn't feel nervous or anxious or stressed. I'm sure leading up to it she did, and I think a lot of you brides can relate. But the reason why she was able to stand up in front of all of those people and speak her vows, which were not short vows, they were quite long, is because that she's done it before, time and time again, right? And her confidence has been able to help her in so many other areas of her life because of the repetitions that she's put in previously, because of the amount of time she's opened up her phone and had to speak to the camera, because of the amount of time she's had to go up on stage and speak about her businesses and speak about fitness and speak about everything that she's ever spoken about before. I'm not really sure what she's done talks about, but I know that she's done them. And my point is that the first time that she stood up on stage, the first time that she stood up and spoke in front of people, she obviously must have felt extremely unconfident. She probably questioned her ability. She probably had imposter syndrome. She probably felt super anxious. But I promise you, every time you get up on stage again, every time you go to the gym, every time you show up, every time you open your phone and click record, each and every time you do that, it's going to get easier because you're putting in the reps and you're staying consistent and you're building your confidence. And I guarantee you, when you come off of stage, like, I had a client who messaged me the other day. Her wedding is this Saturday, and although she's so excited, she's extremely nervous. Like, she's a very anxious person anyway. She's not fully confident, even though she really should be. She's put in so much work over the past 9 months working on this program. She's lost a lot of weight. She's built her confidence. She's shown up for herself and made sure she's a priority in this time as well. And her confidence has improved and has lifted so much. However, she's still feeling extremely anxious about her wedding. She's feeling nervous about walking down the aisle with shaky legs. She's feeling nervous about standing up and speaking her vows in front of all of those people and stumbling her words, or, you know, not saying something correctly, or her voice tremoring. She's nervous about being in front of the camera. She's nervous about a whole bunch of things. And I'm speaking about this because I know that she's not alone. I know that every single bride, confident or not, is going to have moments where you're feeling anxious and you're feeling nervous about any of the above. And I just want to say that the more that you put yourself in uncomfortable situations leading up to your big day, the more confident you're going to feel. The more that you show up for yourself in the gym, the more confident you're going to feel, not just in your body, but in your mental as well. Okay, like I said, you know, she's still super anxious and super nervous, but her mental health and her physical health is nowhere where it used to be. She's way more confident now, and this is all down to genuinely her putting herself first and her actually saying, do you know what, I'm going to show up for myself. I am going to do what I've told myself I need to do for a long time. And she's built her confidence through there. And I believe that the same happens for people like Grace Beverley. Is that it's not that you never feel self-conscious, it's that regardless of how you feel, regardless of all of those feelings and thoughts and worries and what ifs, you do it anyway. and you prove to yourself that really it's not actually that bad. You know, I've said to her, and I'm going to say this to you because in case you're feeling the exact same way, I said to her, it's literally, you're going to wake up the next day and think, what was I worried about? Have you ever thought back to a time, like genuinely, I want you to think back to a time where you was so anxious, so nervous, so worried, thinking about all of the possible things that could go wrong, all of the what ifs, and then as soon as it happens and as soon as it's done, you were thinking, what the actual hell was I worried about? I can guarantee you the same is going to happen on your wedding day. The same is going to happen after you walk down the aisle, after you say your vows. Once you're sat there listening to the speeches, you're going to think, why was I so worked up, worried? What was I so worried about? And it's all of the what ifs. But 99.9% of the time, all of the things that we are anxious about in the future, all of the worries, all of the things that we're feeling overwhelmed about happening, never actually end up happening. And this is what I said to her. I said, sit down, take your notes out, take your pen out and journal. Genuinely journal. Like, what are your worries? Why are you worried? And are they valid? Yes, of course they're valid, but are they going to happen? Most likely not. If they do, if you stumble your words, if you trip down the aisle, like all of these things genuinely don't matter. And they are more common than you really, really think. They are more common than you think. I promise you. And they never end up lasting. It never ends up being the thing that people remember. It never ends up being the thing that, you know, people pick up on. And these are such little moments that genuinely everyone else has probably experienced as well, that no one actually thinks about it. And that's why today in the gym as well, I felt so confident to be able to walk around with my camera and my phone and my tripod and a veil, is because I was like, all of these people are probably feeling self-conscious as well. All of these people are genuinely showing up to the gym to work on themselves and have a bigger purpose. They're not worried about me. They might look at me and think, like, what the heck's going on? Is she a bride? Is she, like, what is she doing? But ultimately, no one's judging me because they're all worried about other people judging themselves, right? Everyone starts somewhere. Everyone is on their own journey. Everyone has got their own shit going on. No one is worried about you. So when you keep putting off going to the gym, when you keep telling yourself that everyone's looking at you, everyone's judging you, the whole world is against you, what if this happens? What if that happens? You are only hurting yourself, and it is just chipping away at your self-confidence and your self-esteem. The more that you do the thing that you're uncomfortable with, the easier it gets. If you genuinely want to be able to do something and show up to somewhere and speak without it being an issue and without it popping to your head like, what if this goes wrong? You just have to put in the reps and you just have to do it. So if you take anything away from today's episode, it should genuinely be that your confidence comes from your own ability to stand up for what you believe and actually do what you know needs to be done. Okay? Because right now, I don't care about walking into the gym with a massive podcast and a veil in my hair. I don't care about speaking in front of the camera. I don't care about being sat here talking to you guys because, number one, I've now done it enough times for me to feel confident enough to just do it again. So confidence is built in repetition. I don't care what anyone thinks about me anymore because I know that I have a purpose. So you have to find your purpose. Another word for purpose could be your why, and I speak about this a lot. Finding your why, your deeper reason. Why are you doing this? Like, I'm sat here in front of you right now talking to the camera, and I show up every week and I do it even when I don't want to, and I did it when I didn't feel confident to do it. Like, before the first episode, I had never posted a video like this on YouTube before. I'd never even recorded a video like this before. I'd never bought a camera before. Like, all of these things that I'd never done before. Of course I felt unconfident, self-conscious, what if, like, I had all of those thoughts and feelings. I didn't want to do it. But my purpose for providing useful, genuine tips and information for brides to feel their best on their wedding day was bigger than my own insecurities, right? My vision for building a massive business that supports brides throughout their journey to help them build their confidence and to actually give them what they need in order to lose weight and feel good in their skin before their wedding in a way that is maintainable for them. No more crash diets, no more rubbish diet trends, because I genuinely care, is bigger than my own insecurities, is bigger than my reason to not show up every single week, is bigger than my my lack of confidence when it comes to filming. So your why and your purpose has to be bigger than anything that could possibly go wrong or any worry, right? Like your wedding day. You know that you're going to have to stand up in front of loads of people and you might not want to do that. And you might not want to have a first dance in front of everyone. Like all of these things, of course we want to do them, but you know, if it wasn't for our wedding day, we wouldn't stand up in front of people and speak comfortably. We wouldn't dance in front of our friends and family, right? So we're doing it for a bigger purpose because it's our wedding day, because this is a union between you and the person that you love. It is a big ceremony celebrating you. So it's for a bigger purpose. It's the same with your wedding weight loss goals. It's the same with wanting to show up to the gym. What is your bigger purpose? Because that's going to be what drives you to go. That's going to be what takes over any intrusive thoughts or what ifs. People judge me. What if I fall off the treadmill? Like, again, no one wants that to happen. But the reality of it is that I don't think I've ever seen anyone fall off of a treadmill in the 10 years that I've been to the gym, okay? So all of those reasons, all of those excuses that you keep coming up with in your head, all of your worries are pretty irrelevant when it comes to your bigger purpose. So you have to figure that out. And finally, no one actually cares in the politest, respectful way possible. I care about you, but no one actually cares if you show up to the gym. No one cares if you go on the treadmill. No one cares if you're a bit overweight. Like, everyone is there on their own journey. No one cares if you've never lifted a weight before. No one cares if this is your first day in the gym in your entire life. Nobody cares and nobody would know. I literally set up a camera today, like, just to put this into perspective, and I'm being vulnerable here, but I don't care anymore. Like, I literally have 50 subscribers on YouTube and I'm still showing up filming this. I have, I think, just over 1,000 followers on Instagram for my Bridal Coach page. Like, in the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot. You know, there are influencers with hundreds of thousands of followers who still don't get their camera out and record in gyms, but I don't care what everyone else is doing because I'm on my own journey, right? Nobody knows nobody knows whether I have 10 followers, 10,000 followers, 10 million followers. Nobody knows. Nobody cares either. Everybody is worrying about their own. Everybody is focused on their own workouts. Everybody is focused on themselves and everybody has insecurities. So nobody cares about yours. You might think that they do, but they really don't. Have you ever seen that video where someone walks around like they obviously have insecurities and they go up to a random person like, could you tell me what I'm insecure about? And the person's like, no. Like, no, I couldn't tell you what you're insecure about. There is literally 10,000 people around me right now and not one of them would be able to know what I'm insecure about. It is just in your head, okay? This is what you have to get out of your own head. You have to draw a line in the sand and you genuinely have to do what is necessary in order to get to where you want to be. That's all we have time for in today's episode. It was a quick one, but it was a really, really important one and one I wanted to talk about because after today's experience of me genuinely not caring, walking around the gym with a tripod and with a veil in my hair, I wanted to share that with you guys because genuinely, like, that comes from years of just putting the work in and genuinely working on my mindset, but I wouldn't be here today without it. I wouldn't be the confident woman that you see on the other side of the camera. I wouldn't be the one who's built a business helping other women feel confident. And if you want to genuinely build your confidence, lose weight, and actually feel your best in your wedding dress, and you don't know how, and you want some support, drop me a DM on Instagram at the Bridal Coach with the word bride. Reach out, ask for help, and I will genuinely help you put together a workout program, a nutrition guide, and everything in between to make sure that you are feeling your best on your wedding day, that we are helping you build your confidence, and that you actually feel supported, okay? That is it for today. I hope to see you in the next episode. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye!